Hello and welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. It is Championship Game Week 28 as we head towards February, and Southampton host Sheffield United as both sides are looking to make up for a very poor first half of their season. The Saints have had their dip in form most recently within the last month with just one win from their last 8, which was in the FA Cup third round against Doncaster of League One. After 4 wins in a row when Eckert first took charge, it is now 7 without a win in the Championship. For the Blades, they are still recovering after their playoff heartbreak last season. Wilder is back and they still want to look for a playoff position despite being 11 points adrift. The reverse fixture saw Southampton under Will Still take all 3 points, winning by 2-1 with a brace in the second half from Ross Stewart. This time around at St Mary's, will history repeat itself, or can Sheffield United earn their revenge? They are both sat right next to each other in the Championship League table. Southampton are 16th on 33 points and Sheffield United are 17th on 32 points. If Sheffield United are to win away from home tonight, they will leapfrog Southampton and go into 16th. Southampton will go into 17th. If Southampton win, they can go 1 position and they can move themselves up from 16th into 15th. So there's not a lot of movement in terms of the table if either of these teams win, but it will help them massively get closer to those teams who are trying to get into the top half of the table and push for those playoff positions come the end of the season. We're about 5 minutes away from kick-off. We'll go through both sets of starting 11s. You can see them on screen. We'll start with the Southampton starting 11, and they've made 4 changes from their last league lineup last time out against Hull City at home. It is Daniel Peretz to remain in goal, signed on loan in January from Bayern Munich. Looks like they've gone to a back 4 with it right back. It'll be Ilias Yelert, who they brought in on loan from Galatasaray in the summer. At left back will be Wellington, and the 2 centre backs, both English, and they are Taylor Howard-Bellis and captain Jack Stevens. 2 other midfielders are Flynn Downs, who turned 27 yesterday, and alongside him will be Kasper Jander, who's signed from Nuremberg in the summer for just over £10 million. 3 behind the striker. On the right will be Tom Fellows, who was the joint assist leader last season in the Championship with 14. On the left will be Leo Cienza, who they brought in from Heidenheim in the summer for just under £8 million. And in the number 10 position, wearing the number 10, is Finn Azaz, another summer signing. He's never scored against Sheffield United. And up front, leading the line, he scored 3 goals this season in the Championship. He scored 1 against Hull off the bench in their last game, but then also scored a brace at Bramall Lane last time these 2 met, which was at the end of September. And for Sheffield United, it is 7 changes from that defeat to Charlton at the weekend after 2 red cards from Samare and Tanganga in the first half. It is Michael Cooper to remain in goal, and it's the back 4 that played against Mansfield in their FA Cup defeat that started that game. Keanu Hoover, Ben Mee, Mark McGuinness and Harrison Burrows. 4 along the midfield. On the right-hand side will be Taif Chong, who's still waiting for his first Sheffield United goal. On the left-hand side will be Callum O'Hare, who's got 2 in his last 4 in the league after not scoring in any of the previous 9 before that. 2 central midfielders, pretty youthful set of central midfielders. Ollie Arblaster will wear the captain's armband. The Sheffield-born midfielder will start alongside Siddy Peck, who they brought in 2021 from Arsenal after coming through their academy for 11 years. And then there will be 2 up front as well. Tom Cannon will be one of them. He's got 4 goals in the league this season, 2 in his last 3 against Leicester and Stoke, 2 former clubs of Tom Cannon. And alongside him will be Tyrese Campbell, who is on 5 league goals so far this season for Sheffield United. The last time he scored was a brace against Sheffield Wednesday away from home back on the 23rd of November. He's just making his 3rd start in the last 8 in the Championship. So they are the 2 starting 11s for this game. We've got a referee of Tom Kirk, who started refereeing at the age of 17, and he has officiated 2 Premier League games so far this season. One of them was Burnley Crystal Palace in December of last year, and the other one was Everton Wolves at the start of this year. You might remember that game for Michael Keane's red card after a hair pull, and also Jack Grealish's red card after sarcastically clapping towards said referee, who is Tom Kirk. So He has been in the headlines recently, especially for those 2 red cards that he gave in that match between Everton and Wolves at the start of this year. And we'll be getting underway very shortly here at St Mary's. Holds just over 32,300. Opened in 2001. Moving to St Mary's from the Dell, their previous ground. And there is Tom Kirk. He's got his 2 assistant referees tonight of Matthew Smith and Ian Cooper. And the 4th official will be Oliver Mackey, as it is 2 teams in desperate need of 3 points. At home, Southampton need to make this as much of a fortress as possible. For Sheffield United away from home, they did lose 6 of their first 8 on their travels in the league. They've started to pick up form. They've just won 2 of their last 5 away from home, and they were against Stoke and Leicester City. As it looks like it will be Southampton to kick us off, kicking left to right, and it will be Sheffield United right to left. Sheffield United are actually in their purple away kit, not their white and gold. As the referee blows the whistle, it's played back to Harwood Bellis, who goes long and out to the left for Southampton. A header away by McGuinness, headed back forward by Yander for Southampton. Another header away by Hoover, then a header inside by Cannon to O'Hare, who tries to return it to Cannon. It's cleared away as far as O'Hare, who's then tackled once more in the centre circle, lifted forward again by Yander. Looking towards Finn Azaz, who commits the foul on Peck. And there'll be a free kick for Sheffield United midway inside their own half. And we are well underway here at St Mary's. When I saw the lineups come out around an hour and 15 minutes ago, I was very shocked to see that same starting back 4 that started their FA Cup defeat against Mansfield, especially McGuinness and Mee, the 2 centre-halves. They were so poor in that game. And I know they're a little bit tied for centre-backs, but I thought they would have just made something work, because Tanganga's obviously out with that red card he picked up at the weekend against Charlton, and then their other centre-back, Bindon, was brought off at half-time with an injury as Southampton are breaking away down their right-hand side. He's got Fellows making an outside run. He gets it. He pulls it across. It deflects. Still alive here for Southampton. Downs trying to play it into the space here for Yelets. It's overhit. It's seen behind by Burrows. Goal kick for Sheffield United. Got on his bike there. The right back, Ilias Yelet, the Dane, starting just his 3rd game in the league this season. His last was on New Year's Day at home to Millwall. They do have an option to purchase the Danish right back if they'd like from Galatasaray. There's a £7.4 million buy option. And there is Chris Wilder. He's faced Southampton 5 times in his career, and he's lost all 5. 3 of them as a home manager, and then 2 of them away here at St Mary's, both in 2020 in the Premier League. As he'll want to change that record, it's Burrows with a ball into the edge of the box. It's cleared first time by Harwood Bellis, played back forward by Mee to O'Hare, who goes to the halfway line to Arblaster. And it's Sheffield United back in possession on the far side with Hoover, the loanee from Wolves. Lifted ball down the right channel towards Cannon, towards the byline. He hooks it over his head. It's been kept in, goes towards O'Hare, who jumps for it. A couple of plays miss it. Eventually O'Hare works it to Campbell. Tackled, headed away by Wellington. As far as Sidney Peck from the edge of the area, who can strike it. It's blocked, and it's a corner on the far side for Sheffield United. Jack Stevens barking towards the assistant referee on that far side. He thought that that ball had gone out, even though it was kept alive by Cannon. Just the 3 defeats at home so far this season for Southampton in the Championship in the 13 games they've played here. Losing to the likes of Stoke and Preston. And of course, Hull at the weekend. It's an in-swinger towards the back post, well caught by Peretz, the loanee from Bayern Munich, and they want to try and counter. He's going to kick it long out of his hands. It's a big kick. It's a chase on here. Will it reach the intended target? It won't. It was a full sprint there from Tom Fellows. Couldn't quite get there. Just entered the box, and Michael Cooper was there waiting to keep a hold of it. Didn't want Tom Fellows to beat him to it. As we're just over 3.5 minutes in, still 0-0. Both sides having slight turns of possession. As it's Cooper. Big kick forward from the goalkeeper towards Campbell on the left wing position. It's going to be tracked down by Harwood Bellis, who will go over. And it will be a free kick given. Even though players do go down easy for those sort of fouls and free kicks, it did seem like Campbell had just give him a slight shove in the back, enough to send him over. Does actually have a England cap to his name. Harwood Bellis came off the bench and scored for England against the Republic of Ireland back in November 2024 during Lee Carsley's reign. It's Arblaster, the captain, going back into his own half here for Ben Mee, and then across to Mark McGuinness. Was out of the matchday squad for their defeat against Charlton on Saturday. It's Cooper, long again, header won by Harwood Bellis, drops on the halfway line to Arblaster, tackled by striker Stewart, kept in by Fellows on this near side, and it'll be Southampton to build from the back with their goalkeeper Daniel Peretz, the Israeli international, born in Tel Aviv, came through the Maccabi Tel Aviv Academy from 2006 to 2023. They have lost out though as they try and got it forward. It's now with the right back Keanu Hoover for Sheffield United, being closed down, clears it first time, he's caught, but the referee doesn't deem it as a foul, and Southampton try and get it forward quickly. Misplaced ball from Azaz allows Burrows to clear in the left back position, curling it down the left hand side towards Campbell, headed forward by Harwood Bellis, frustrated with himself, he couldn't keep it in, couldn't direct it to a teammate, and it will be a throw in on the halfway line for Sheffield United, who lost their first 6 championship games in a row this season, lost their first 7 in all competitions, including their defeat away to Birmingham in the League Cup. There's Cooper again. It's a long ball towards Chong on the right side this time around, headed away by Wellington. It's now Flynn Downs, midway inside the Southampton half. It's with Jack Stevens, the captain. Got the 1 goal so far this season, and that was the 96th minute winner in their first game against Wrexham. A 2-1 win hit after a Manning equaliser, a beautiful free kick from the full-back who's on the bench this evening for Southampton as they are into the Blades half, and it's on this right channel now with Tom Fellows. He alerts has made a run ahead of him. He cuts inside instead of his stronger left foot. Not being closed down, can play out to the left towards Cienza, who needed to meet the ball. They have won it back, and it is Cienza on the edge of the area. No one closing him down. He's allowed to shoot, and it deflects in. Sheffield United punished for not closing him down. And Leo Cienza gets his 4th goal of the season. It's his first goal since their last win in the league, which was against West Brom on the 9th of December. A summer signing brought in from Heidenheim. And it was well won back by Wellington. And Cienza took over, and right on the 18-yard line, as he cut in onto his stronger right foot, he tried to guide it towards the far post. The deflection came off captain Arblaster, wrong-footed Cooper, and into the back of the net it went. If you don't shoot, you do not score. Cienza's had a pop, helped with the deflection, but it goes in, and he scores for the first time since early December, and it gives Southampton a much needed early lead. It's Southampton 1, Sheffield United 0. It was Hoover, the right back, who was tackled by Wellington, just not strong enough when trying to bring it out from the back there, Keanu Hoover, and he was punished. That was a great start to his Sheffield United career. Played 57 minutes in that FA Cup defeat against Mansfield and didn't play a single minute in their defeat to Charlton at the weekend. Sheffield United on the ball in their midfield of Arblaster, playing out to the left, having to go back into their own half here with Harrison Burrows, who started 2 of the last 6 now in the Championship. Its previous start before this one today was away at Stoke on the 29th of December. It's McGuinness, the centre-back, finding Hoover, the right-back, similar area to where he lost it, but he was able to play it back to Cooper. Pretty helpless in the Sheffield United goal for that strike as he goes long and over the top and in behind. Cannon's chasing it. Howard Bellis gets across, and he had to on the edge of the area. Plays out to the left as Jack Stevens, who keeps it in. Forward to Downs. Back into Stevens. Now with the goalkeeper, Peretz. Left-footed. Forward it goes, up into the air. Not very far. Does work its way to the halfway line where it's played forward by McGuinness. Can't be kept in by Chong. And it will be a throw-in for Southampton, who won their first 4 under their now permanent head coach, Tonda Eckert, who's only 32 years of age. Does turn 33 on the 31st of January. But since then, it's all gone downhill. Just winning 2 of the next 10 since the 29th of November. So they are in poor form at the moment. But 3 points here would give them belief and hope they can find that form once more, which was sprung upon them after the sacking of Will Still. Southampton try and break. Azaz with a lifted ball towards Stewart. Chested away from him by Ben Mee. It's now with the goalkeeper, Michael Cooper. It will clear long right-footed. They're not afraid to go direct, Sheffield United. Goes over Wellington and Chong, and it's going to be met by Stevens ahead of Cannon. It's now back into the 18-yard box with Peretz in a full green goalkeeper kit with an orange strip down the side. Left-footed clearance is poor, but it does deflect out to the left to Azaz. Heavy touch, tackle by Hoover, who flicks it inside, deflects back to McGuinness. And it's now the number 25 on the ball, midway side zone half here for the Blades. Ben Mee on this near side. Playing it forward. Can't quite find Campbell. It's now with Fellows. Back to the right back, Yellett, who turns away from O'Hare to face forward. Brilliant piece of skill. Then plays the pass forward. And there's a foul on the number 20, Casper Yander. But they quickly get the ball moving. They're switching out to the left now to Cienza, the goal scorer. Driving inside, pulled back by Hoover. And that'll be a free kick for Southampton. It's been a tricky start for Keanu Hoover, the former Dutch under-21 international. Came through at Ajax from 2008 to 2018. Spent a couple of years at Liverpool before making the switch to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Spent last season in France on loan at Auxerre, where he scored once in an away game in April against Lens. And from that left flank, here's going to be a right-footed delivery into the box by Leo Cienza, the Brazilian. In it goes towards the far post. It goes all the way through. And it almost reached Jack Stevens, who was all alone at that far post. Just couldn't quite reach it as the ball bounced behind for a goal kick. Scored just the 1 goal last season as well. Jack Stevens, and that was at home against Fulham at the back end of April. Sent off twice as well last season in Southampton's Premier League campaign, where they finished bottom with 12 points. He was sent off against United and Chelsea, both at St Mary's. Southampton have won it back after Sheffield United have gone long. They're in their own half on this near side with Fellows, keeping the ball away from O'Hare. Playing it back to Stevens on the edge of the area. Out wide left to Wellington. Forward to Cienza. Can't quite flick it on. And it will be a last touch off Hoover. And it will be a throw-in for Southampton. Just inside their own half on that far side. Chris Wilder, since returning for this third spell, has took charge of 22 games so far, winning 10, losing 10 and drawing 2 of the others. One of those defeats against Southampton at Bramall Lane. There's a direct ball forward in behind for Stewart. Again, just about reaches Cooper in the 18-yard box. So pressure can be relieved for the moment, as Cooper still has it in a full yellow kit tonight. Goes long and over the head of Cannon and straight through for Peretz in the opposite goal for Southampton. And a lot of long balls at the moment from Sheffield United. Clearly seeing that as a potential weak spot for Southampton, dealing with those balls in behind. Howard Bellis in a right back position. Big ball forward. It's high. It's up towards Stewart. Header won by Mee. Picked up in the centre circle by Chong. Lays it off to Peck. Forward in between the lines for O'Hare. Tries to turn and release. Caught by Harwood Bellis. And it's a rightly given free kick by the referee, Tom Kirk. Just slightly late there. Harwood Bellis, who's now made over 100 appearances for the Saints since joining permanently for £20 million in July 2024, but did spend the previous season on loan when they were promoted via the playoffs. He's got 4 goals so far this season, Harwood Bellis, scoring a brace against Leicester at home towards the end of November, making his 17th start in a row now in all competitions since November. Burrows goes inside into a central area to Hoover, then crosses it out to the left into the box. It's a header away. Going to be kept alive by Burrows. Down the line to Meat, slipping it into the box looking for O'Hare. Intercepted and cleared up the field. It's an easy ball on the halfway line for Hoover to deal with. Wide left to Burrows. O'Hare trying to replay it into Burrows, just a heavy touch, and it goes through now to Harwood Bellis, and Peretz just gets rid. Big kick forward out to the left where it'll be chased down by Ross Stewart. He's isolated on that left wing. He slows the game down, holds it up, brings Wellington the left back into play on halfway. Back forward to Cienza. Ball stays in. Cienza driving inside. There is a switch pass on to Yeller at the right back, and he's been found midway inside the Blades half. Yellert back towards the halfway line to Harwood Bellis. Everyone behind the ball for Sheffield United. Wellington at left back on the far side, dinking it into the space for Azaz. Flicked on with his head. Cleared away from Ross Stewart by Ben Mee. Pivotal interception. Wellington wins it back again like he did for the opening goal. Aggressive, winning the ball back. And it's Southampton with Harwood Bellis. Has to clear first time after pressure from Campbell. It'll roll away and it will go for a Sheffield United throw-in towards the corner flag on that far side. So a chance for Southampton to suffocate Sheffield United in their own half. And there is Tonda Eckert, the 32-year-old head coach who retired from football in 2016. Signed a contract in November of last year until the end of the 26-27 season. He's been an assistant manager at the likes of Barnsley, Genoa, and then been working with Southampton's under-21s throughout 2025. Harwood Bellis looking for a low ball into the middle of the park. He finds Ross Stewart. The touch is heavy, the tackle's big. It's fair though. Burrows straight back up. The ball flew in the air and it's eventually brought down. And it's Hoover to bring it forward for Southampton. A marauding run from right back. Slips it through the legs of Wellington to Chong, who's in the area. Needs to find the ball across. It's parried away and then volleyed by Harwood Bellis. Still alive for our blaster. 25 yards from goal. Plays it to the left to Burrows. Goes for the cross. Comes off Fellows, and that'll be a corner on the near side for Sheffield United. Covering plenty of yards there, Keanu Hoover. Bringing the ball forward and finding Chong in space. Ran towards the byline. Tried to play it to the near post to O'Hare. Didn't quite reach it. Palmed away by Peretz, and eventually the ball went behind for a corner off Tom Fellows. It's going to be a left-footed ball into the box. It's clipped to the far post. McGuinness tries to win the header. Drops to Chong on the edge of the area off the back of Harwood Bellis. Falls to Hoover. Sends it back out to the left to Burrows. Looks for O'Hare. Ball isn't great, but O'Hare keeps it alive. Burrows again. Going across to his right to Hoover. 25 yards out, thinking about a strike. Will go for it. Takes a nick. Another corner for Sheffield United on that same side. Hand up for an apology there by Keanu Hoover. He's won his team a corner, but I don't think he was ever going to find the back of the net there, the Dutchman. Foot out there by Flynn Downs to send it behind for another set piece. So over 18 minutes in, it's Southampton 1, Sheffield United 0. The opening goal scored by Leo Cienza via a deflection. Ball in, headed won by Fellows. Back out wide by O'Hare to Burrows. Another deflected cross goes in. It's punched by the goalkeeper. Then headed away by Yellett. And it will be a throw-in in the final third for Sheffield United, who are continuing to put the pressure on here. Trying to find the equalising goal. Not drawn a game away from home yet this season, Sheffield United. Out to the left again to O'Hare. Lays it off for Burrows. Trying to bring the ball inside. Goes back to Peck. It's now Meat. It's now Keanu Hoover on the halfway line. No one pressuring him. He plays it into the midfield to Arblaster. Difficult to control, and he loses out to Downs, who restarts with his goalkeeper of Peretz, who shifts it onto his left foot, clears it, not convincingly, chested down by Chong. 1-on-1 with Wellington in the final third. Thinking about the left foot, then going on his right, put a cross in, cleared by Stevens, not convincing. Hoover on the corner of the box, crosses off Stevens, and eventually he can clear left-footed. And it'll roll towards McGuinness, who heads it down the line for Chong. Touch isn't great, won back by Stewart, who's then brought down from behind by Chong, and that's going to be a free kick for the Saints. Not the best of touches there by Taif Chong. He's not had the best of starts to his Sheffield United career, brought in for around £3 million from Luton. Came through the Feyenoord Academy before jumping ship to Manchester United in 2016. Ball forward to the halfway line for Southampton. Ross Stewart can't find a teammate. Arblaster does, giving the ball away for the Blades. It's now back with Southampton. Cienza just before the halfway line. Playing it back into Wellington. It's a full Brazilian left-hand side for Southampton. Now Harwood Bellis at right centre-back. Lifting it down the right channel. Ross Stewart will come across to chase it. Has to be kicked behind by Ben Meat. Throwing for Southampton as they try and push into the Sheffield United half. They throw it all the way back into their own half with Taylor Harwood Bellis. Spent 16 years coming through at Manchester City, winning this division with Burnley under Vincent Kompany throughout his multiple loan spells. Azaz switches it to the right to Yellett. Midway inside the Sheffield United half, goes forward towards the edge of the area. It's now with Fellows. On the outside, cross comes off the back of the leg of Burrows. It will roll for a corner. And Tom Fellows will leave it. Special signing from West Brom. Tom Fellows scored 4 goals in the league last season, but got the 14 assists as well. Brought in for £8 million initial fee and then £2 million add-ons as well within that deal. It's over 21 minutes in, still 1-0. A 7th minute goal from Leo Cienza separates the two sides. And it will be the goal scorer to take an out-swinging corner. It's whipped. And it's headed towards goal. And had to be headed behind. The man on the front post making sure that wasn't hitting the back of the net. Ross Stewart, the striker, who won the header. And it was Arblaster on the post to make sure. I think it was going wide. But the Sheffield United captain was taking no risks. And sending that behind for another corner. So it's going to be the exact same delivery taker. Cienza. Bit more height on this one towards the far post. A confident header one there. Felt like he was the only one who was ever going to win that header as soon as he jumped up for it. And Southampton have been forced all the way back to their goalkeeper. Peretz gets it forward first time. It's out towards the left-hand side. Is it kept in? No, it's not. And that's a throw-in for Sheffield United just inside their own half. Oh no, there's an offside. No, it's a throw-in. I think Sidney Peck thought... No, not Sidney Peck. I think Harrison Burrows thought that was a free kick for offside. It's just a throw-in. And they've worked it to their goalkeeper Cooper. Left-footed clearance up into the air. Headed forward by Yander. It's Azaz. No one closing him down. Another shot allowed straight into Ben Meat. And out it goes for a throw-in towards the final third on this near side. The first goal came from Sheffield United not closing down Cienza. And then Azaz is running at them towards goal. And again, no one getting close enough. Thankfully, it was Ben Mee in the way for the Blades. Yellett nutmegs Burrows. Brought down by Peck. Very surprised that's not a free kick. It's a goal kick instead. Kind of got across his man. Just looked aggressive. And I think the referee's seen it as a coming together. I think there may have been a little bit more in that. But it remains 1-0. Just 3 defeats in their last 12 in the Championship for Sheffield United since the 8th of November, which was a 0-0 draw against QPR. But that run of 3 defeats in 12 includes 8 wins. and it still means they're only in 17th. It just highlights how poor of a start they had to the season, Sheffield United, losing 11 of their first 14 in the Championship. For Southampton, their next game is travelling to Portsmouth for the South Coast Derby. I think it was a 0-0 draw the last time they met here at St Mary's early on in the season. Wonder if either of the two teams can take 3 points in that game coming up at the weekend. Ball up in the air. It's Burrows to head forward for Sheffield United. Chested down by Campbell towards O'Hare. Loses out to Yander. Now Yellett. Forward it goes. Controlled well by Azaz. Then into the path of Fellows. Just slightly behind him. Loses out to Burrows on halfway. It's now to Siddy Peck, who's starting to return to full match fitness after a long-term injury within the season. Returned for the last game against Charlton, but before that missed the previous 7. Central midfield partner also out for a while. Missed the first 18 games of the season in the Championship. His first appearance, Ollie Arblaster, was against Norwich on the 9th of December. 25 minutes in, still 1-0 to Southampton, who won the reverse fixture 2-1. But Sheffield United took the lead in that one through Tyrese Campbell in the 28th minute. And then 2 quick-fire goals from Ross Stewart gave Will Still 3 points for Southampton when he was in charge. On the halfway line, Arblaster. Just staying in their shape for now. Southampton not pressing too much. A flick from Peck is cut out by Yander. Stevens in between the lines and forward to Downs. Yander then takes over. Drives into the Sheffield United half. Laying it off to his left to Cienza in his light green boots. Running at Chong. Playing it inside. Can't quite find Stewart. Cut out by McGuinness. It's now Chong. Goes down by Wellington and Downs. Wellington tackles, last touch off Chong. And that's going to be a throw-in for Southampton. And they've already started playing. It's on the halfway line with their number 4, Flynn Downs. Former England under-20 international Flynn Downs. Making his 10th start in a row in the Championship. Pushed off the ball there, Cienza. And it's a throw-in for Sheffield United. Not enough of a push for the referee to give a foul. Throw in. Hoover to take. Header won by Downs. Helped on by Stewart. Volleyed up into the air by McGuinness. Headed on by Cannon. And headed back to his goalkeeper by Yellett to Peretz. He puts it on the floor. Plays it to the left centre half of Stevens. Slightly short. Gets there and plays the ball forward. But picked up by Arblaster. First time pass to Chong, who's caught from behind by Wellington. And that's a free kick on the right-hand side for Sheffield United. And they're taking it quickly. Chong running at Wellington. Trying to go on the outside. Chong tackled and the ball taken away. And then played forward to Azaz. Wonderful defending there from Wellington. And the Azaz pass deflects down the line. Not quite kept in. And it'll be a throw-in for Southampton just inside their own half on that far side. But no win in their last 7 in the Championship for Southampton, drawing to Millwall, Birmingham and Coventry, and losing to Hull, Middlesbrough, Oxford and Norwich. So some difficult games in that. Their last Championship win coming 43 days ago. 3-2 home win against West Brom on the 9th of December. And it could be a win that's coming their way. Yander towards goal, into the box to Fellows. Gets there ahead of Burrows, he goes over. Goal kick given. Not enough contact for a penalty, according to the referee. Has to be careful committing like that. Harrison Burrows. Tom Fellows kind of got there first, but there wasn't really enough contact between him and Burrows. It's probably the correct decision to give the goal kick, but does have to be wary that if he goes in any stronger, it might result in a penalty kick. Southampton certainly look the better team on the ball, that's for sure. Sheffield United are playing a lot of long balls up into the air. And Southampton playing out from the back. Down the line to Cienza. Keeping it away from Hoover. And a back heel down the line once more to Azaz. Then inside to Wellington. Well kept. It's good football from Southampton. Definitely not playing like a team who haven't tasted victory in the league in 43 days. Yander. To Yellett. Going back. Gone the halfway line to Harwood Bellis. He sees a switch to the left to Cienza. Controls it very well. He was zipped into him as well. Wellington. Back to their number 5, Jack Stevens. Hasn't played any of the last 3 games. No minutes at all for him, but he's in from the start. And then Fellows with a pass, which is intercepted by O'Hare. His ball is short, won by Downs. And now there's a chance. Stewart, back to Downs in the area. Squares it, and it's a missed kick. Huge opportunity for Azaz, who knows it. Brought in for £12 million in the summer from Middlesbrough. Scored 6 so far in a Saints shirt. They all came in a run of 5 games between November the 8th and December the 6th. So he's not scored for a while. And Downs possibly could have had the shot himself, but squared it to Azaz. And about 8 yards out, he's just not got the contact necessary. And wide it goes. Remains 1-0, just ticking over the half-an-hour mark. Southampton are the team who are in front, and they are deserved leaders so far. Wellington down the left channel again towards Azaz. Arms going up, and he is offside. Decision goes the way of Sheffield United. Last season, Sheffield United lost 6 away games on the road in the Championship. This season they've already lost 9. Hence why they are so far off the pace. Sat in 17th at the moment. Lost 1-0 at the weekend to Charlton. The goal right after half-time from Carey. After two red cards in the first half. Samare in the 35th minute and then Tanganga in the 2nd minute of added on time. So to only lose 1-0 is pretty impressive. To be playing with 9 for 45 minutes and only losing 1-0 isn't embarrassing. The embarrassing part is getting 2 men sent off in the first place. 2 key players as well. Samare looked a tidy player when I first watched him against Mansfield in that FA Cup defeat. And of course we know how much of a monster Tanganga can be at the back for the Blades. Campbell battling for the ball. It's a clearance from Yander, but it's straight to the left-hand side where Burrows can bring it forward for Sheffield United. From afar, he shoots. It deflects. It's back towards Yander, whose touch is heavy. Peck now has it, trying to keep it, battling and losing it. And it's now with Yander once more. Out towards the left for Southampton. Not finding the pass yet. Eventually releases it to Cienza. 1-on-1 with Hoover. Into the final third. Outside the box for now. Tries to go around him. Runs into him. Yeah, no foul. Just ran into him there, Cienza. And the ball goes out for a throw-in for Southampton. Couldn't be kept in by Keanu Hoover. Yeah, tried to knock it past him and then go round him. Yeah, just ran into him there. Leo Cienza, the goal scorer. Scoring his 4th goal of the season. Did score 3 in 3 before leaving Heidenheim. Scored 1 in the Bundesliga, then 2 in the Cup. Force all the way back to the halfway line to Harwood Bellis. It's out to the goalkeeper, just outside the 18-yard box of Peretz. Harwood Bellis on the left-hand side. Back to the goalkeeper. Once more, they've got a difficult game coming up. Sheffield United, when they return to Bramall Lane, they've got to host Ipswich Town, who are now 2nd in the division, and then away to Millwall on the 31st of January. And they're also well within the playoffs, despite losing last night to Coventry. Eckert barking instructions on the sidelines to get Southampton forward. Cienza with a switch to the right to Yellett. Back he goes onto the angle to Flynn Downs. Back out wide to Yellett. Wanting to go forward, having to play it back to Downs. Harwood Bellis. Forward to Azaz. Back out wide it goes to Fellows. who finds Downs, who's supporting him from behind. Downs laying it off to Stewart. Touches it into Yellett. It's now Fellows in the box. Onto his left foot. Thinking about the cross. Forced away from goal by O'Hare. Took over by Yellett. Fellows on an angle on his left foot. Thought about it. His thigh instead went for the pass inside. Then back forward it went. That's a goal kick. Yellett, the full-back, advancing into a right wing position. Couldn't quite be found. And it's still Southampton 1, Sheffield United 0. 34 minutes into this game. Six wins in a row in this fixture for Southampton, dating all the way back to September 2019, winning 2 at home and 4 away. Last time these two sides met in the Premier League, it was 3-0 at St Mary's to Southampton, and then a 2-0 away win for them. James Ward-Prowse penalty and a Che Adams goal as well. And after that defeat, Wilder was sacked 7 days later. As a flick finds Yander and just dragged wide from Kasper Yander, the German midfielder, looking for that far corner. Ball was played into the box by Stewart, and then a spin. Didn't quite come off there from Fellows. Did fortunately drop to Yander, who dragged the shot wide. Big kick forward from Cooper. Headed on by Campbell, but there's a shove on Harwood Bellis, and it'll be a free kick about 10 yards away from the halfway line here for Southampton, who won just one time here in the league last season in the Premier League, and that was against Everton. Drew 3 times to Ipswich, Crystal Palace and Manchester City. 1 point better off than the Derby 07-08 team. But they did earn the record for the most defeats in a single Premier League season. 30 altogether, with 6 draws and 2 wins. The other win was away to Ipswich. Perret slips as he kicks it, doesn't quite find Yellett. One back for Sheffield United. Campbell with the shot. Glances the side netting. Seemed to just snatch at that a little bit, Tyrese Campbell. Not scored now for almost 2 months in the Championship. Perret's with the ball out wide. It was short. O'Hare with a nick forward. Then Campbell in the box. Just miscued it. 3 goals away from half a century of Championship goals for Tyrese Campbell, who they brought in on a free at the beginning of last season from Stoke. Did put his team 1-0 up in the playoff final in the 25th minute before losing out right at the death to Sunderland. Yander tackled in the midfield by Peck, trying to find a ball over the top to Campbell, cut out by Harwood Bellis. It's now on the halfway line with Downs. Out to the left back, Wellington. Cienza towards halfway, bringing it forward, away from Arblaster. Try to go around the outside of Hoover. Is he tripped? Yes, he is. Free kick in a left wing position for Southampton. Leo Cienza really giving Keanu Hoover the runaround on that far side of the pitch. They do have Femi Sariki on the bench, the usual starting right back for Sheffield United. Position of the free kick is quite wide, so definitely an angle more for a cross than it is a shot. It will be Cienza to take it. It's a one-man wall of Taif Chong. Sending the centre-backs forward for this one. Southampton, Stevens and Harwood Bellis in there alongside Stewart and Downs. Ball goes in. It's a header one from a Sheffield United man. Drops to the edge of the area to Yellett. Out wide to Azaz, who can kick it last off Burrows. No, wow. Throw-in's gone Sheffield United's way. I thought the last touch came off Burrows personally, but the linesman is seeing it differently, and it's a throw-in in the defensive third for Sheffield United in a left-back position. It's going to be taken by Harrison Burrows making his 75th Sheffield United appearance. 5 of his 7 goals for them have come away from home. Header won by Campbell. But he's gone out of play, throwing on the halfway line for Southampton now. Southampton face Leicester in the 4th round of the FA Cup. It's the last time they won a game. It was in that competition. 14th of February, that game will take place. They were actually meant to play Leicester anyway in the Championship that weekend. They were meant to play them away from home. Now they've got them at home in the FA Cup. Southampton, again, attacking down their right flank. Yander going back to the halfway line to Harwood-Bellis. Forward to Downs. Out wide to Yander. Got pressure from O'Hare, twisting and turning and playing it back to Harwood-Bellis. Well forced back by Sheffield United's press. Harwood-Bellis at right centre-back, taking his time on the ball. The 23-year-old. No pressure on him at the moment. Continues to bring it forward. Towards the halfway line. Wants to pass it. Sends it over the top now for Fellows. Again, just overhit. Cooper quickly off his line, reading the game well. The 26-year-old goalkeeper. Exeter born. But came through the Plymouth Academy. And through their first team. And he goes long over Campbell. Cannon will chase it. It's an easy glancing header to his goalkeeper by Stevens. And Southampton pretty much gifted the ball straight back. They're not keeping it very well, Sheffield United. A lot of long balls off the floor and in behind. And Southampton are doing the same. Long ball forward. Won by me. And then poked by Peck. But only as far as Wellington, who goes over the top and down the left for Cienza. Hoover slips. The night gets from bad to worse for Keanu Hoover. Cienza in the area. Onto his right foot. Strikes it. What a save that is. On the rebound. It's palmed away as well. Headed away by Hoover. Attack still on for Southampton. Yellett trying to find Fellows. Kicked away by Burrows. Campbell will chase it. Harwood-Bellis needs to deal with it. And he's able to turn away from Campbell. Brilliant defending from Taylor Harwood-Bellis. What an opportunity for Leo Cienza to bag his second of the night. Keanu Hoover slipping. Cienza taking advantage, but it's a strong left hand from Cooper to stop the strike because he hit it with some venom, the Brazilian. And it's now with Tom Fellows down that right flank again, bursting forward. Thinking about cutting in. Does play a pass inside to Yander, who crosses towards Stewart. Header won by McGuinness. Mee needs to help it out. No foul in there yet. Eventually collected by Cooper. And a bit of breathing space for Sheffield United. They had kept 5 clean sheets in their last 12 league games. Sheffield United, not the case tonight. What a save that is with the left hand. Went across goal, Cienza. Like he did for his goal, which ended up deflecting into the near post. But he is lethal when cutting in on that right foot. Cooper long again. Headed away by Yellett, the right back, who gets the ball returned to him by Fellows. Yander, caught in possession. It's now O'Hare. To Peck. Releases it to Chong. He's knocked over as he passed it. But the referee allows the play to continue. It's now in the middle of the park to Arblaster. Losing the possession of the football. It's now Azaz, who has got options to the left of Cienza and Stewart. He'll lift it out to that left flank. It's Cienza to chest it forward. McGuinness tries to tackle and he does do that well. Just gets a slight poke to the ball. It's now Sheffield United's turn right before the break to try and get the equaliser. Down the right-hand side, it's Chong, who's got Hoover overlapping. Plays it to him. Low ball goes in off the back leg of Wellington. And it's a throw-in in the final third for Sheffield United. 2 minutes left of the first half. And then it's still Southampton 1. Sheffield United 0. Not lots of movement for Sheffield United here. It just seems very flat at the moment. Keanu Hoover waiting for the option. Throws it to Chong. Plays it back to Hoover. Arblaster. Back out wide. Did take a slight nick off Downs. So that'll be another throw-in. Pretty much in the same position for the Blades. Keanu Hoover with it, the Amsterdam-born fullback, who's had a difficult night in this first half against Cienza. They've gone all the way back to the halfway line to McGuinness. Blaster on that far side. No one pressing him at the moment. Goes across to Peck. Five yards to his right to McGuinness. Out wide to Hoover. Back to McGuinness. Just can't get the ball forward into dangerous areas at the moment, Sheffield United. No one picking up any decent pockets of space. Bit more of a direct ball towards Cannon. Drops towards Hoover. But there was a hand used by Cannon. I think it was accidental, but still came off the arm as he tried to control it. It's a free kick for Sheffield, for Southampton. We're just looking to get in, leading at the break if they can. I think there'll be probably just a minute added on from the fourth official, Oliver Mackey. Plenty of options on the bench for Sheffield United. Gustavo Harmer, Andre Brooks, Patrick Bamford as well. Yeah, just the 1 minute of additional time. Headed up in the air by Peck. Headed won by Harwood Bellis. Cleared by Ben Mee. Up towards Cannon. He loses out to one of the Southampton defenders. It's now Wellington driving down the left-hand side. Stopped in his tracks for now, but Stewart can take over. Back out wide to Cienza, who's been a threat all first half. Slips it through for Wellington, who's continued his run on the byline. Pulls it back. Stewart with the shot. Important block from Blaster. Corner is avoided, and it's a throw-in instead in the final third for Southampton, who are running out of time in this first half if they want to try and double their lead. The run of Wellington. Cut back wasn't bad, but our Blaster was always on Stewart's toes as he got the shot off. Cienza from the throw-in. Going around Hoover. Into the box, playing it behind him. Azaz with the shot. It's wild, it's wide. And I am pretty sure Keanu Hoover will be subbed off at half-time. He has been completely torn apart by Leo Cienza, who's been a joy to watch in the opening 45 minutes. As I do believe we have had the referee's whistle for half-time. And it is the Saints who lead at St Mary's. They haven't won since a 3-2 home win against West Brom 43 days ago. But at the minute, they are leading by 1-0. Leo Cienza in the 7th minute from the left wing position, cutting in onto his right foot, trying to aim for the far corner. It took a deflection off the captain, Blaster, wrong footing Cooper, and hitting the back of the net at the near post. And from there, Southampton have dominated the game. They've had all the shots, they've had all the possession. Sheffield United playing very direct, not creating anything at all for Daniel Peretz to worry about in the Southampton goal. He's not had a shot to save as of yet. And it's Southampton on top, and they are deserved leaders at the moment. It's at half-time. It's Southampton 1, Sheffield United 0. And that is the half-time break at the moment. Only annoyance, I think, for Tonda Eckert, the Southampton head coach, will be the fact it is only 1-0. Probably could and should be leading by more. But they'll get more chances in the second half. It's just a matter of fact of will Sheffield United turn it around. They've got to certainly make some changes at half-time. Keanu Hoover will probably be one of them, the right back. We've got Danny Ings, the former Southampton man. Great goal-scoring record here for Southampton. Danny Ings scored 46 goals in 100 appearances. Very, very impressive numbers. That was during a time where Southampton were finishing pretty high in the Premier League, or starting seasons well, but then slightly tailing off. Danny Ings playing his best football under Ralph Hasenhüttl. Has scored twice, though, against the Saints previously in his career, Danny Ings. One of them at St Mary's in a 4-3 FA Cup defeat back in January 2014, almost 12 years ago. Well, it is 12 years ago now. We'll see what the other scores are around the grounds in the Championship and the Champions League as well. If you have got any second half score predictions, you can put them in the chat. Thank you to everyone who's watching. If you can, like and subscribe if you haven't already, that would be absolutely brilliant. We've got 0-0 between Watford and Portsmouth and 1-0 as Stoke lead Middlesbrough. Two teams there well within the playoff shout. In the National League, it's Carlisle 0, York City 1, Halifax 1, Morecambe 0, Forest Green 0, Altrincham 1, and then Solihull Moors 0, Rochdale 0. And in the Women's League Cup, it is Arsenal 0, Manchester United 1. Arsenal down to 10 players in that game. Olivia Smith with the red card, a forward as well. Wonder why she was sent off for 2 yellow cards. I know it's for that. And then Manchester City are trailing at home to Chelsea by 1-0 as well. So, tightly contested semi-finals in the Women's League Cup. As in the Champions League, the two earlier kick-offs, Galatasaray drew 1-1 at home to Atletico Madrid. Karabag took all 3 points against Eintracht Frankfurt, and Karabag are well in the race to qualify for the playoff round of the Champions League, which would be a massive achievement. And then these are all kind of within half an hour of the game. It's Atalanta 1, Bilbao 0. Scamacca with the goal. Bayern Munich being held 0-0 by Royal Union Saint-Gilloise of Belgium. Still 0-0 between Chelsea and Paphos. Juventus Benfica 0-0. Marseille Liverpool 0-0. Newcastle are 2-0 up at home to PSV. Goals scored by Johan Wissa and Anthony Gordon. And Slavia Prague are currently 1-1 with Barcelona. They actually took the lead as well in the game. Slavia Prague, but a Fermin equaliser has it all square at 1-0. So as it stands in the Champions League, the top 8 going straight through are Arsenal, Bayern Munich, Atalanta, Real Madrid, Tottenham Hotspur, PSG, Newcastle and Sporting. Just behind them, on the same points as the likes of PSG and Newcastle and Sporting, just behind them on goal difference is Manchester City. Shock defeat for them last night to Bodo Glimt. Atletico Madrid, Liverpool are also on 13 points, but they're drawing. They could go up to 15 points and go into the top 8 themselves. And then the likes of Chelsea, Dortmund, Barca, just a few more points behind them lot. As we will just switch over the channel because we can have a watch of the Stoke Middlesbrough game. I feel like they've stumbled a little bit, Middlesbrough, with their new manager. Started well after the departure of Rob Edwards, but Hellberg has come in and had a little bit of a blip in the previous 2 league games. They've obviously beat West Brom in dramatic circumstances on the 16th. Which was that Friday? Was that Friday night game? It was, and then they also beat Southampton 4-0 at home. But it was sandwiched in that is their defeat to Fulham in the FA Cup. Before that, they'd gone 4 without winning the league. But they're still well up there, Middlesbrough. 3rd at the minute. 1 point behind Ipswich in 2nd. So if they can turn this around, they could find themselves up into the top 2, Middlesbrough. But for Southampton, if they win, in terms of the playoff positions, they only are 8 points off playoffs. It's not miles away. You know, a lot of teams do go through these phases, which they're going through at the minute in this season, where you might go 6, 7, 8, 9, sometimes 10 games without winning many. But it's just about turning that around, turning that tide around. And usually, if you're mentally strong enough and kind of believe in your own capabilities, you know eventually you'll turn that around. And it seems like Southampton are trying to do that in this game. 7 without a win in the Championship at the moment, but they are on their way to get their first win in 43 days in the league. Of course, they did win their FA Cup 3rd round game against Doncaster. They went 3-0 up in that as well. Goal scorers were Bragg, Archer and Matsuki. And then Doncaster brought 2 back through Pearson and Gibson. And it was 3-2 after the 59th minute. So Doncaster had well over half an hour to try and get the equaliser, but didn't quite materialise for them in the end. The second half of this fixture will be getting back underway in around 5 minutes' time at St Mary's. Ball in the box for Middlesbrough. Didn't break loose for them. Cleared away. It's going to be a very interesting fight for the automatic promotion spot as a shot is spilt. And it's saved and kept out for Stoke City. Who is that goalkeeper? I do not recognise that goalkeeper. I know they signed, funnily enough, they signed Gavin Bazunu on loan from Southampton, Stoke. But he must have already picked up a slight knock, because I know he played at the weekend, because at the minute in goal for them is Tommy Simkin. Because I know Bazunu played in their last game against QPR, because I saw a post on that on Twitter. But Simkin's in. Parried the ball, but was able to close down the rebound. So if you are thinking about just going on Twitter yourselves or leaving the stream, make sure you do come back in 5 minutes for second half live commentary of Southampton against Sheffield United. We're just at half time at the moment, and it is a goal in the 7th minute from Leo Cienza, which separates the two sides. It does look like Coventry as well are back to winning ways. Picked up a good 3 points against Millwall. I know they went through a bit of a rut themselves throughout this Christmas period. Just seems so long ago now as well, the Christmas period. You know, it is a month on. Moves on so quick. Football doesn't let up for anybody. Just got to keep moving with it. Stoke look to double their lead. Save at the near post. The lack of players I recognise in the Championship worries me. Because I follow Stockport County, who are League One. So I don't watch a lot of the Championship kind of throughout the weekends, because if there's a League One game on, I'd probably watch that over a Championship game, just because it probably affects my team more. But yeah, I don't recognise a lot of these players. Obviously, if I was commentating on them, I'd know all their names. I'd do my research on all the players. So if you ever see me looking down when I'm commentating, I've got six pieces of paper full of notes for every player in the team. So if you are new and you haven't seen this before, so that's what one of them looks like. I know you can't read that, but that's Southampton stuff on that side, Sheffield United stuff on that side, some stuff on the referee, and there's another one for the head-to-head there. So managers, both managers on there, and then head-to-head stats, which I haven't used a lot of in the first half, so we'll get some of them used in the second half. And then we get one like that for the players. So that's the starting 11 for Southampton. Goalkeeper at the top, works its way down, and then there's another one for the players on the subs bench, which is obviously a bit smaller because there's not as many players. So yeah, if you ever see me looking down, that's why. All my stats are just under my nose. As we will be back underway in a couple of minutes. At St Mary's, we'll turn the channel back over to make sure we don't miss any of the action. If the game carries on in the same pattern, it will probably end Southampton 2-3 or 4-0. But Sheffield United make a few changes. Who knows? It's just a weird record for Chris Wilder to have. 5 matches against Southampton and 5 defeats. Real bogey team for the 58-year-old. Was a right back himself when he played. Chris Wilder. There is Danny Ings warming up on a pitch he's very fond of. Scored a lot of goals, as we've already mentioned, for Southampton. Plenty of them would have been at St Mary's. There's Patrick Bamford, who committed his stay to Sheffield United until the end of next season. That was signed and announced when they were playing Mansfield in the FA Cup. Came on and scored in that game to make it a bit more competitive, but just not enough for Sheffield United to get back at 4-4. Fell 1 goal short in the end. Doesn't look like any of those two are coming on. There might be a different change that Chris Wilder's thinking of making. As here come the Southampton players, first out ahead of Sheffield United. Lost some very important players in the summer, but did give themselves some proper fees when they're selling their players. Sold Mateus Fernandes to West Ham for £42 million. Sold Tyler Dibling as well for £42 million. Sold Sulemana for £18 million. Jan Bednarek for £6.5 million. And then brought in a handful of quality Championship players, not quite gelled yet, as they are 15th at the moment in the Championship. As Sheffield United are back out, and we are going to be getting back underway very, very shortly. It's going to be Sheffield United to kick off, kicking left to right. Their away support is just towards that right-hand side, just behind where the camera's looking. And it'll be Southampton kicking right to left. Just going to be waiting for the referee's whistle now of Tom Kirk. So Campbell plays it all the way back to Cooper, the goalkeeper. Sends a big kick forward down the Sheffield United right towards Hoover. Tries to control it. Comes off Stevens and then rolls to the goalkeeper. And it's Southampton in possession with Peretz. Rolling it to his right to Harwood Bellis. Turning back and playing it to the goalkeeper once more, whose last appearance for Israel was in October 2025. Been on the bench for the last couple of games, as they've lost it, but then they've won it back, headed away by Yellett. Arblaster winning it back off for Zaz. Ben Mee at left centre-back. It's another high ball forward down the left channel towards Cannon. Header won by Harwood Bellis, controlled by Fellows. Touch isn't great out wide, and it will roll out for a throw-in for Sheffield United, and they want to try and take it quickly, but again, just very flat-footed. Doesn't seem like there's a lot of life in the Sheffield United team at the moment, as they are currently on a run of 2 losses in a row against Mansfield and against Charlton at the weekend. Campbell on the left-hand side for Sheffield United, brought down illegally. Free kick on that left flank, given away by the number 20 Kasper Yander, who was in the Euros squad for Germany's under-21s in the summer. Couldn't quite get the win in the final against England. Campbell receiving the ball and playing it down the line towards O'Hare. And it's a throw-in for Southampton, just slightly overhit. Throwing in their right-back position, it'll be taken by Ilias Yellett, who won the league title last season at Galatasaray, scoring just the 1 goal in all competitions, and that was in the Europa League against Malmo. Came through at Copenhagen, the 22-year-old fullback. So there was no changes at half-time. I'm sure Chris Wilder won't wait long, though, if he feels a change is needed. Pushing the back on Ross Stewart. No, says the referee. McGuinness gets away with it. Pecking between the lines, and now Sheffield United are away. O'Hare down the centre of the pitch. Shoots, it's blocked. And it will go for a corner. Can't be avoided by Wellington. Felt like O'Hare probably took that on a little bit too early. Great ball from Peck to find O'Hare, who's drifted inside. Shot early. Came off the backside of Stevens. Does win his team a set piece on this near side. Just felt like it could have been so much more for the Blades. As 3 minutes into the second half, they've got a corner. It's going to be an in-swinger from Burrows. It goes short to O'Hare. Returns it to Burrows, who crosses it in. Headed towards goal. Easily saved by Peretz. He wants to try and set his team away quickly. Thought about the big kick, but instead rolls it to his right to Harwood Bellis. He then plays it down the right-hand side. It's a well-intercepted sliding tackle there from Ben Meat. And there's a throw-in for Southampton. Midway side, the Blades half on that far side. Throw-in taken to Stewart. Plays it out wide to Fellows. Tries to go back to his partner in crime on that right-hand side of Yellert, and he does keep it away from O'Hare. It's now across to Jack Stevens from Harwood Bellis. Out wide left it goes to Cienza. Goalkeeper Peretz. Just played 2 games on loan in the first half of the season at Hamburg, and they were in the Cup. So been recalled and then sent to Southampton. Well won in the midfield by Yander on our blaster. Yander slipping it into the box towards Stewart. Good defending by Burrows. Got across his man. Took away the ball. And our blaster controls the clearance and then is caught late. And that'll be a free kick. 4.5 minutes into the second half. Still 1-0 to Southampton. Cooper. Big clearance forward, out to the Sheffield United right again. Header won by Wellington on Chong. Chested touch inside from Azaz, and he lifts it over the top for Fellows, who brings it down. It's just gone behind him, but he does keep the ball alive. Very composed from Fellows. Looking out wide left to Cienza, finds him in the area. One-on-one with Hoover. Cienza on that right foot. Strikes it, just off balance. Sends it over the top. Goal kick for Sheffield United. Seems almost unstoppable once he gets going. Leo Cienza, who left Brazil, his home country, in 2017 for Uruguay, and then went back to Brazil in the January of 2018, stayed there for a year, eventually went to Germany, was there for 5 years, 2 of those years at Schalke. Last season for Heidenheim, he scored in their relegation playoff when they won against Elversberg to make sure they kept their spot in the top tier of German football. Still waiting on the bench. A number of those Sheffield United attackers who feel like they could make a difference. Throwing. Headed forward towards Fellows. Won by O'Hare. Try to slip it through for Campbell. Harwood Bellis does slip. And Campbell has it in a left wing position. One-on-one with Yellert. Tries to find a low ball in there. Sliced up in the air by Downs. Kicked up into the air. It's not convincing defending this by Southampton. Headed on by Cannon. And it's overhit the header. Out for a goal kick. Slight bit of panic there in Southampton's defending. And there has been a lot of pressure on their head coach, Tonda Eckert, the 32-year-old. Took charge of 15 games now altogether. 7 wins, 3 draws, 5 defeats. Won 6 of his first 7. Then just 1 from his last 8. Big kick from the goal kick. Header won by Ben Mee. Cannon will chase it, but another header backwards by Harwood Bellis gets it to his goalkeeper. Much needed defending done there by Harwood Bellis. Peretz rolls it forward and then gets the ball returned to him by Yander. Peck's closing him down, but he kicks it out to the right-hand side. Free header for Burrows. Forward it goes, so as far as Downs. He volleys it to Stewart. Lays it off to Fellows. Poor touch, gets away from him. It's a foul on Burrows, but the play continues as Peck brings it away. Tries to play it to O'Hare, who slips. Goes through Harwood Bellis. And that's going to be a free kick. And a yellow card for O'Hare. Harsh, that. Because it's a clear slip. It's a foul, but it's a clear accidental slip. No, that's harsh. No intent in that at all. He's just slipped. O'Hare didn't complain too much, which can almost be a problem with body language. Because usually when you're doing well and you want to win everything and every tackle, you kind of argue your case for that. Why am I getting booked? But it's almost like he just accepted the punishment. They need to try and lift themselves up here, Sheffield United, if they want anything from this game. Long kick forward towards Stewart. Last touch off Mee. Throwing for Southampton on the far side. Ross Stewart stayed down after that aerial duel with Ben Mee. Hadn't played any minutes in the Championship in the previous 7 games, Ben Mee, before having to come back in against Charlton. Now he's starting tonight. Ross Stewart back to his feet. Yellett, the right back, finding the left back of Wellington. Working out wide to Cienza. Hoover very tight to the Brazilian, tries to go around him. Brought to the ground, referee says no. Then Cienza slides in, goes late. That'll be the easiest yellow card of the night. Purely done out of frustration, I think, more than anything there from Leo Cienza. As the original decision didn't go his way. Thanks for everyone who's here. If you could like and subscribe if you haven't already, that'd be fantastic. Still just the 1 goal. 2-0. 7th minute from Leo Cienza. Deflected strike off Arblaster. Ben Mee lifted ball forward, cut out by Harwood Bellis, but all as far as Siddy Peck. Has it in the centre circle, laying it off behind him now to Arblaster, the captain. McGuinness goes around Cienza and plays it forward to Chong. Into the final third, tripped by Wellington. That'll be a free kick. Wellington on his knees, pointing up to the gods, wanting forgiveness from the referee, wanting a different decision. Didn't get it. Seemed late. Yeah, it's the most obvious foul ever. I'm not sure why Wellington's making such a big deal of that. He's gone right through Chong. Free kick on the right-hand side. It's in a very good position, this. Got the left foot of Harrison Burrows and the right foot of Siddy Peck over it. Again, it's quite wide, this, so it's more of an angle for a cross. Goes deep. Headed across by McGuinness. It's caught by Peretz, the goalkeeper. Just lacked the pace, but he was just backtracking there, Peretz. It was Peck with the delivery. McGuinness won the header at the far post on Wellington. Made sure he kept hold of that ball. As the cameras have cut back to the play, and we've got a Sheffield United throw-in. And we're going to see a double change from Sheffield United. Going to see their number 11, Andre Brooks, come on. And Patrick Bamford as well. Sheffield United are in the box. O'Hare on his weaker left foot tries the shot, deflects up. Caught by the goalkeeper easily. Starting to grow into the game now. Sheffield United, it's a long kick forward towards Ross Stewart. Header won by Ben Mee. Straight to Siddy Peck. Good turn on Yander, tries to slip it through almost, but then O'Hare wins it back. Peck once more, he's got Chong out wide right, uses him. Hoover's made the overlap. Finds him. Ball needs to be right. Goes across, it's O'Hare who meets it. And here's a corner. Last touch did come off a Saints player. And this is a lot better from Sheffield United. Chong, knowing the run was there, played it to Hoover. And O'Hare from 6 yards out met it, but was also met by Yellett, the right back, who helped it behind. It's going to be an in-swinger from Burrows. It's a deep one to the far post. It's a header won, very importantly, from Southampton's Harwood Bellis. Still alive with McGuinness on the far side for Sheffield United. Goes back into Chong. Trying to find space for a cross. He finds a cross, goes behind everyone. And it's hooked away by Cienza. And it'll be given chase to by Stewart. Hoover deals with it though. Gets there with the header all the way back to Michael Cooper. Right-footed clearance forward. It's a high one. Header won by Harwood Bellis. Volleyed out wide by Downs. Out for a throw-in. Still not going to get these Sheffield United changes. Or are we? We are now. First one. We'll see. Tyrese Campbell, who's had a very silent night again, up front, will be replaced by Patrick Bamford, who's on 6 goals in 12 for Sheffield United. 5 in the league. He's not scored in any of his last 3, though, in the Championship since his brace away on Boxing Day to Wrexham. And the second change, we'll see Taif Chong come off for Andre Brooks. Just the 1 league goal for their number 11, and that was in a 3-2 away defeat to Preston towards the end of October. Just started 4 of the last 7 now in the league. Andre Brooks throwing down the line for Sheffield United. Bounces all the way through for Jack Stevens, who turns and clears. Wanted the goalkeeper to come for it, didn't. He's able to find his right back, and now Southampton play out from the back, but given away by Yander. Looking for Cienza in the centre circle. Kiana Hoover overruns it. Cienza gets across him. Brought down, and it's a free kick. Just over half an hour to go. Still 1-0 to Southampton. As half-time, Champions League scores. Any of them change? Slavia Prague 2, Barcelona 2. Firmine scored again for Barcelona, but then Lewandowski scored an own goal. Right before half-time. That's 2-2. And Liverpool took the lead away at Marseille. They did have a goal disallowed for Ugo Ekitike in the 23rd minute. But Dominic Szoboszlai making up for his penalty miss at the weekend. Scores right on half-time for Arne Slot and Liverpool. As we're going to get a Southampton change. Number 11, Ross Stewart, who's only starting his 4th game in the league this season. His last start was at the start of October against Derby. He's only just returning from a hamstring injury he's had since October. And in his place is Adam Armstrong, who's on 11 league goals so far this season. All came in a run of 15 between the 20th of September and the 9th of December. He's not scored in any of his last 7. And that's coincided with Southampton's winless run in the league. His best ever Championship season for Adam Armstrong was 28 goals in 40 league games for Blackburn in the 2020-2021 season. And in the last time these were in the league, in the Championship, scored a handful and scored in the playoff final against Leeds. He's actually never won a Championship Golden Boot, which I was very surprised at for Adam Armstrong because he's hit some high numbers in this division for different clubs. And at the moment, the last 5 minutes, the tide has turned in this game, and it's now the Blades who are dominating a lot of the ball and the chances as Cooper goes long from the 18-yard box looking for Brooks. Header won by Wellington. Back forward by Peck. Headed down by Cannon. Controlled by Peck. Forward to Cannon. Tries to flick it to his left to O'Hare, who gets there ahead of Yellett. But then the ball short to Burrows. And it's now Yander down the right-hand side here for Fellows. He's gone rather quiet in the second half, but he's got a chance to come alive. Fellows playing it to the overlap, and then the cross goes into Armstrong, who heads it across. And Hardy goes for a goal kick. Couldn't quite get the ball on target. Adam Armstrong. He's played Sheffield United 8 times previously in his career, the number 9. And he's never scored against them. Played for 6 different clubs in the Championship as well, Adam Armstrong, scoring 94 goals altogether. Long ball forward off the top of Bamford's head and out for a throw-in for Sheffield United, for Southampton. Wellington at left back, high ball for Southampton, almost through to Cienza, Azaz tried to get on the second ball, but it was won by Hoover. Arblaster to Brooks, just beyond the halfway line. He's got Hoover overlapping. Brooks will drive instead and try and play it in behind for Cannon in the area. And every time they're playing that ball, both teams, a lot of their balls in behind are just overcooked, and they are finding their way to their opposite goalkeeper. Southampton have won 6 games in a row against Sheffield United with an aggregate scoreline of 13-4. One of the 6 wins was on penalties, though, in the League Cup back in September 2021 after a 2-2 draw in normal time. As an interception's been deflected behind for a corner off Mark McGuinness. Couldn't be avoided by Cooper. It was a Wellington ball across. And McGuinness felt like he had to slide across to stop it from going anywhere behind him. It's going to be a right-footed in-swinger from Leo Cienza on this near side. Goes to the edge of the area to Azaz. Cienza still on. Azaz cuts onto his right foot and crosses the ball in, and instead of catching it, the ball was taken away from him as Bamford heads behind for another corner. Are they going to try the same tactic, or are they going to directly cross this in? They've got 25 minutes to go. Southampton to try and win for the first time in 43 days. Cross goes into the near post. It's a header won by Arblaster, then volleyed away by Brooks, and he'll chase his own clearance it. Yander's the last man back for Southampton, who will let it go for a throw in. The ball just had enough speed to see it behind. There's going to be another double change from Chris Wilder. Femi Sariki and Gustavo Harmer will be coming on very shortly for the away side, whose next away trip is to Millwall. Sandwiched in between either side of that is home games to Ipswich and Oxford. It was their worst start to a season outside the top flight for Sheffield United since the 95-96 season. It's certainly a start of a campaign they'll forget rather quickly. As a change I thought was going to happen 20 minutes earlier has now happened. Keanu Hoover on loan from Wolves is out and off, and he's replaced by Femi Sariki. And another change, which I'm rather surprised by, is Callum O'Hare. Probably looked the most lively Sheffield United player. He's been swapped out for Gustavo Harmer, who scored a beauty in that FA Cup third round defeat against Mansfield. It's Peretz, touch is heavy, just about clears it ahead of Bamford. Header won by McGuinness. To Brooks, who loses out to Wellington on halfway. Azaz to Yander. Harwood Bellis into the space now for the right back of Yellett, who will bring it forward, lays it off to his right to Fellows, cuts onto his left foot, edge of the area, thinking about a shot, will strike it, and that is wide and a bit too high, covering his face there. Within his shirt, Tom Fellows, he certainly hit better than that. Has scored previously against Sheffield United in a 2-2 draw last season for West Brom. He scored in the 62nd minute to make it 2-2 in that game to get the equaliser. Was part of the England under-21 squad in the summer that won the Euros just gone. Michael Cooper with a big kick forward for Sheffield United. Header away by Harwood Bellis. Winning the aerial duel there on Patrick Bamford. Michael Cooper with the ball in the 18-yard box. Kicks it forward beyond the halfway line. Header won by Wellington. Back to where it came from. Where Arblaster will play it to the left centre-back of me. That wide left to Burrows. Takes on Fellows. And plays the ball forward to Cannon. Strong challenge from Stevens. Ball Cannon's up in the air. Headed on by Yander. And it'll be seen behind for a throw-in by Peck. As there's an equaliser in the game between Stoke and Middlesbrough. Alan Brown with the goal. 1-1 between Stoke and Middlesbrough. There's a kick up into the air by Harwood Bellis. Goes towards Adam Armstrong. controls it, and Azaz gets the second ball and plays it back through for Armstrong. The angle's tight. She'll clip it in towards Leo Cienza. Big save from Michael Cooper. Still not dead. Yander with the shot. No, it wasn't. It was taken off his toes by Fellows, who should have let Yander complete the move of flicking over his head, then wanting to finish. Not known for his heading, Leo Cienza, but that's how he went with that cross. Put on a plate for him by Adam Armstrong. Chose the diving header. And even though it was good reactions from Michael Cooper, the header was pretty close towards him. But it remains 1-0. We've got a quarter of the game to go. Andre Brooks closing down a Wellington clearance. And right next to the corner flag on this near side, it'll be a Southampton throw-in. Sheffield United's last league win here at Southampton was a 2-1 win. It was in the Championship back in February 2009. Just one win in their last 7 league meetings for Sheffield United. I still can't get over the 2 men sent off at the weekend against Charlton. The last time Sheffield United had 2 players sent off in the same game was in May 2011. That was in a 3-0 away defeat to Watford. Both players were off after 34 minutes. Darius Henderson and Lee Williamson. Still 0-0 between Watford and Portsmouth as well in the other Championship game. Throw-in to be taken here by Wellington. It's an 8-hour round trip as well for the Sheffield United supporters, who will be seeing their 10th away defeat of the season in the league if this result stays the same. Headed inside from the throw-in. Bamford looking to strike it from the edge of the area. It deflects, it loops, it goes behind for a corner. That's when it's sometimes good for the opposition to have a throw-in deep in their own half, because if they can't get out, then the opportunity is right in front of you. Well, one header there by Brooks from the throw-in to head it inside. Bamford didn't have a lot to do there. Just had to try and work a shot. And he's worked himself. His team a corner. In-swinger, far post from Harmer. Come off the back of Azaz, surely. Nope. Goal kick. No one's complaining, though. So last touch must have come off Mark McGuinness, who's got the 1 goal so far for Sheffield United, and that was in their home game against Stoke at the start of December. Came through Arsenal's academy, Mark McGuinness. Yeah, just glanced off the top of his head and well wide of the post. It's going to be a long goal kick forward by Daniel Peretz. Has made 7 first-team Bayern Munich appearances, keeping 2 clean sheets. Played 3 Bundesliga games last season. They all came in December, and then 1 in the Champions League in December 2024, and that was in a 5-1 win against Shakhtar Donetsk. As it looks like Mark McGuinness's shoulder has popped out. He was battling for the ball there. Not sure who he was going up there with, but it looks like the shoulder's popped out. And they don't have an out-and-out centre-back on the bench, Sheffield United, to come on if he needs to come off. So both sets of players will go over to their managers and their coaches, getting themselves some refreshments. Well, McGuinness hoping it can just be popped back in. Absolutely. Ooh, goes through me. Goes through me, stuff like that. Not long for Southampton to hold on and to keep this unbelievable run going against Sheffield United. It'll be 7 wins in a row. The last time Sheffield United beat Southampton was a 1-0 home win in the League Cup back in December 2014. Good history of this fixture as well. It was Finn Azaz who went up for the header and shoulder gone. Yeah, the first ever meeting between these two was a 1-1 draw, and that was 123 years ago, coming up to 124. And that was in the FA Cup final. And back in those days, over 100 years ago, FA Cup finals didn't go to extra time, didn't go to penalties, went to a replay. And when they played the replay, Sheffield United won 2-1. That was on the 28th of April, 1902. And for Sheffield United, that is one of their 4 FA Cups. It was their second FA Cup win. Their first one was against Derby in 1899. They also beat Chelsea in 1915, known as the Khaki Cup Final, that one against Chelsea. And that was because it was the last game for 5 years in England due to the events of World War One. So known as the Khaki Cup Final, and then their fourth was in 1925 against Cardiff, so over 100 years ago now since Sheffield United last won an FA Cup. Got to the semi-finals a few years ago, beaten though by Manchester City's treble side. As we are back underway, McGuinness is on the sidelines just waiting to be waved back on. Got 16 minutes left. Azaz with a kick over the top for Southampton and for Armstrong to chase it. Armstrong almost reads the back pass, but it's caught by Cooper as it was headed back by Ben Mee. Almost read that, Adam Armstrong. Cleared away by Stevens. McGuinness back on. Loose header from Mee. Armstrong plays it to Fellows on that right wing. He's got Yander going around him, finds him. Just a bit slower now when they attack Southampton, trying to see the game through. Yellett into Fellows. Low ball into Azaz in the corner of the box. Not many options around him. Goes back into Fellows. Yander. Azaz. Same position in the box. Tries to lift it into Yander. Headed away, but only as far as Yellett, who crosses into the far post. It's a header away by Sariki. As far as Wellington. Cienza. Again cuts in. Too easy. Edge of the area goes for the shot to the far post. And wide it goes. High as well. Not quite had their shooting boots on for the majority of the day. Southampton. The worrying thing as well, and it kind of sums up their last month or so, Southampton. In their last 5 league games, they've only scored 3. One against Hull at the weekend, and then the other 2 were in games against Birmingham away, which was a 1-1 draw, and then in their defeat away to Oxford as well in game week 23. 14 to go. Southampton playing out from the back. Yander. Short ball to Fellows. Good link-up play now between Harmer and Burrows. Burrows crosses, and it will run through for a corner on the far side. They've been better, Sheffield United, but not good enough, I think, to merit an equaliser yet. Thanks to everyone who's stuck around and listened to the full live commentary so far. Hopefully we'll get another goal as Harmer puts it in. It's headed away off the line by Harwood Bellis. Headed back forward by Arblaster. By Cannon. And behind it goes for a goal kick. Wicked delivery from Gustavo Harmer. And I'm confused why he's always on the bench in the league games. He avoids the goalkeeper, who stuck an arm out trying to parry that ball away. Completely missed it, Daniel Peretz. But he got away with it as the second header from Tom Cannon went wide. Not quite been his night so far. Tom Cannon, the number 7. He's only scored 5 in his previous 40 for Sheffield United. Joined for £10 million last January from Leicester City. Another double change this time for the Saints. Going to see number 46 come on. Jay Robinson, the 18-year-old, did assist the winner in the reverse game against Sheffield United. And he's going to replace the current match winner of Leo Cienza. And the other change will see Shea Charles return He's been missing with a hamstring injury. His last appearance was away against Blackburn on the 25th of October. But he's back. And he replaces Finn Azaz. And it'll be a triple change. They're also going to have a swap at left back. So it's a change to left-hand side for Southampton. As Wellington, the Brazilian, comes off for Ryan Manning, who's got 4 goals in the league so far this season. He had started the previous 16 in a row in the league, Ryan Manning. That was a run since the 25th of October. That came to an end tonight. And another change is made, but this time from Sheffield United. And Tom Cannon is brought off in the end. And it will be Danny Ings to come on. Scored 46 in 100 appearances for Southampton in his 2-year stay at the club. He's now 33 and he is struggling at the moment for Sheffield United. He's only scored once since joining the club, and that was in his last start against Norwich on the 9th of December. So plenty of changes from both. As Shea Charles in the right wing position plays it towards the byline, pulled back by Fellows. It's a very important slide and challenge from Burrows. And that'll be a corner on the far side for Southampton. 11 to play. We will get some added on time after the injury from Martin McGuinness, where it looks like his shoulder just popped out. In the Champions League, Bayern Munich are now 2-0 up. Juventus are 1-0 up at home to Benfica and Jose Mourinho's side. Kepa and Thuram with the goal. Still 0-0 between Chelsea and Paphos. It's going to be an outswinger. In it goes towards the penalty spot. Header won by Bamford. Drops to the edge of the area. Going all the way back and then forward by Yanda. Where it can be dealt with by Sariki. He tries to get away from Stevens. His clearance comes off the captain. Thrown in a right back position for Sheffield United. Or is offside being given? I think offside's been given actually on Stevens as the ball was played back forward by Yanda. Ben Mee to the left back, Burrows forward and down the line to Harmer. Tries to return it to Burrows, but it's intercepted by Yanda. Keeping the ball in a tight space for now. Almost tackled, eventually can play it forward to Fellows, who loses out, but then they win it back. Armstrong lays it off for Charles. He's got Robinson to his left. Robinson will receive it on this left-hand side, just outside the box for now. Then plays it into the gap for Manning, who will deliver a ball in. It's a teasing one. Headed up in the air by Mee, then headed away by Burrows. Back forward off the head of Yanda. Who will keep it in on that far side. Harmer tackles, throwing for the home team. Would be such a crucial win for Southampton. Southampton, getting both of the teams stuck in my tongue. Down the right side again, Yellett to the fullback, goes over after a tackle. But Southampton win it back. It's now in the centre circle with Jack Stevens. Bamford try to close him down, plays it to his left to substitute Manning. Now to Robinson, who tries to turn on Sariki. Brought down by the number 38. Well won free kick by Southampton's 46, Jay Robinson, who came through the academy. Signed a senior contract in April of last year until 2029. He is now an England under-19 international. Not featured for them, though, since October 2025. Didn't get the call up for the November international break. It's going to be a direct cross from Manning into the area. It's got curl on it. Header won by McGuinness and then caught by Cooper. Not allowing that to go over his goal line. And then Cooper throws it to his right. Chance for a counter-attack. Sariki. No one up there for him to aim at. It's now with Arblaster in the centre circle. Quickly moving it onto his left to Ben Mee. Forward and out wide. It's a short ball to Burrows. Played back forward though. Intercepted by Mee. Harmer headed backwards, well controlled by Arblaster. Eventually goes to McGuinness, who will let it roll through for Sariki. They've got 7.5 minutes of normal time here, Sheffield United. Not really creating many clear-cut chances. Still 1-0 to the Saints. Ben Mee at left centre-back, allowed to bring the ball forward. No one closing him down at the moment. Goes beyond the halfway line. Lays it off for Burrows, then inside to Harmer. Then tries to get it back to Burrows, but it's cleared by Harwood Bellis. And Adam Armstrong will chase it. Flag goes up. Offside, free kick for Sheffield United. Taken quickly by me. Peck tries to go back out wide to Burrows, but it's misplaced. Chris Wilder not happy. Throwing for Southampton, and now they're really going to start taking their time with all these throw-ins and set pieces that they end up getting in these last 10 or so minutes of the game. Bayern Munich, man sent off. They're 2-0 up. 2 Kane goals, but Kim Min-jae's just been sent off. Barcelona have took the lead as well against Slavia Prague. Dani Olmo. Still 0-0, Chelsea and Paphos. Robert Sanchez had to come on though at half-time for Chelsea to replace Jorgensen. Adam Armstrong, he's going to let this go because he thinks his team are going to get a corner, and they will. Last touch off a purple shirt. Going to be taken by the substitute Shea Charles, who will be back. Who will be glad to be back on the pitch again since late October. Came through the Manchester City Academy. Does represent Northern Ireland at international level, despite being born in Manchester. Outswinging ball goes in. It's Howard Bellis who wins the header. Cannot direct it anywhere near goal. And it's going to be a goal kick for the away team. 5.5 minutes of the 90 to go. Mark McGuinness gets it short. Goes to the right back, Sariki, being closed down by Robinson. Plays the ball forward to Brooks. Caught from behind by Manning. That's a free kick for Sheffield United. Brooks pushes Manning over because he wants to try and take this free kick quickly. Manning is going to stay down now. Holding his shoulder. Back to his feet. Quick word there by the referee Tom Kirk to Andre Brooks after pushing him to the floor. Cooper. Long kick forward from the 18-yard area. Header won by Manning. As far as McGuinness, who lifts it forward for Sheffield United. Last touch off Robinson, thrown on the halfway line for the Blades. As we've had 2 goals against in the Watford-Portsmouth game, and it's 1 each. So we have had goals at Vicarage Road as well. Ben Mee just inside his own half for Sheffield United. McGuinness, his centre-back partner, down the right-hand side by Ings and plays it forward to Brooks. Trying to get beyond Stevens, and he says no. And he takes on 2 players until he's been brought down by Ings. And that's a free kick for Southampton. Very well played by Jack Stevens. Been at the club now, coming up to 15 years in April, Jack Stevens. And he stepped in after not playing any of the last 3 games. He's been very solid alongside Taylor Harwood Bellis as Southampton have gone back to a back 4 and they've looked a lot better in possession, even though the second half hasn't been vintage. They are still leading for now after a 7th minute goal from Cienza, a deflected strike off Arblaster. Kick straight out of play. It's a Sheffield United throw it straight over the head of Jay Robinson. Long throwing in behind here. Ings will chase it. How Bellis needs to deal with it and gets the turn nicely. Then cleared, but not very far. Second clearance from Stevens is up in the air. Forward by Peck. Slammed away by Harwood Bellis. It's going to be given chase to by Fellows. Burrows flicks over his head to Harmer. Harmer, nice turn and plays it inside to Arblaster. Well kept from the former Coventry man. Harmer zips it into the middle to Peck where space is opened up. Peck out wide right to Brooks. Space in the area. Wants it on his left. Cuts it back. He should have gone on his own. Intercepted by Downs. Played back forward by McGuinness. Brooks will chase it. Ryan Manning sees it out. Colliding the two of them. And that'll be a goal kick. No afters between the two as well, like last time. 88 minutes played. It's still 1-0. Newcastle are 3-0 up in their Champions League game against PSV. Barnes, the goal scorer this time around. It's not quite been the same for Chris Wilder in his third spell in charge. Harshly sacked, you could say, in the summer. But Southampton did have new ownership brought in, and they wanted a manager of their own. As Bamford's broke away in the box. What a save that is. Daniel Peretz with a huge save. Chris Wilder, hands on head. Brooks on the right wing in the final third. Plays it to Sariki. Back to Brooks, who's on his stronger left foot. Crosses towards the far post. Bamford heads it across. Deflects back towards him, but there's a foul as he won the header. As there was a push in the back on Ilias Yellert. But Bamford had the real chance moments before to get the equaliser. It was Ings who played it over the top. The miscommunication between Yellert and Harwood Bellis. It played Bamford in, who cut in onto his right foot. And he's just almost passed it straight to the goalkeeper. Just didn't seem like there was any conviction on that shot. Got to do so much better than that Patrick Bamford, who scored 6 in 12 since joining Sheffield United in November. But he's not scored in any of his last 3 championship games. And you could see why. Just lacked any sort of confidence in that shot. As we're about to see how many minutes will be added on. We've hit minute 90. Cooper goes long. Header won by Harwood Bellis, and there's 6 added on. Can Sheffield United earn themselves anything from this game? Gustavo Harmer from the left-hand side, driving into a central area. Out wide right, it goes to Brooks. Sariki overlaps. He gets the ball across. And it deflects off Manning, back off Sariki. Hits the side netting. And it's a goal kick for a very relieved Southampton team and club in general. Because I'm sure the fans will be equally as relieved as well. Had a bit of an overload on the right-hand side. Just unfortunate for Sheffield United that cannon back off Sariki after the deflection off Manning. Late change for the Saints. That number 15, Nathan Wood, who had started the previous 21 championship games, will be on for added on time. And he'll probably be a change to see out the result. I'm guessing it'll be an attacker for the centre-back. No, it won't. Bit of a like-for-like, really. The right-back, Ilias Yellert, who was only making his 3rd start of the season in the league, will be replaced by Nathan Wood, who will be filling in at right-back for the final 4.5 minutes. Big kick forward, headed backwards by McGuinness into the hands of Cooper. Rolls it in front of him and kicks it long, deep into the Southampton half. Again, Harwood Bellis gets there first. He's been an absolute monster in this game alongside Jack Stevens. They've only kept clean sheets in 15% of their games. Southampton, 4 clean sheets all season, and they've all come at home. Cooper long again. Flicked on by Bamford. Stevens away this time. Up into the air to the halfway line. Headed forward by McGuinness. Headed away by Yander. Drops towards Charles, who slips and just catches Peck late. And that'll be a yellow card and a free kick on the halfway line. Shea Charles booked for a high foot, I think the referee just said. Just seemed to slip there, Shea Charles. Yeah, no. His boot was high to control the ball, and the player was nowhere near him. He then slipped and then went through the player. I'd say it was a foul, even though it was a slip and it was accidental, but it's not a yellow card. So from the halfway line, it's going to be our blaster to direct this as far into the Southampton box as possible. Clipped in, aiming for Ben Mee. Header won by Wood, the substitute, who's just come onto the field of play. Oh, as far as Harmer. Sariki. Our blaster's joined in on the right-hand side, and he overhits the cross straight over the crossbar. Massive waste from Ollie Arblaster, who's making his third start in a row in all competitions after returning from an ACL injury in November. After sustaining it in November 2024. (2-1) to Middlesbrough. Away at Stoke, they've turned that game around. Conway with the goal to make it 2-1. And it's still 1-1 between Watford and Portsmouth. 2 minutes left in this one at St Mary's. Goal kick goes high into the Sheffield United half. Header won by Wood. Armstrong over the top towards Robinson. Can't beat Sariki to it. Cleared forward. Brooks' touch is wayward, but he gets on the end of his own heavy touch. It's now McGuinness over the top for Sariki, who will chase it. Won't get there, Eddie Stevens, who will return it to his goalkeeper, Peretz. Gets rid down the Southampton left. Controlled, though, by Brooks brilliantly. And he just gets the ball forward. It's a switch out to the left. Bamford will chase it. It's overhit. Straight through for Daniel Peretz in the Southampton goal. Kicked straight to Robinson on halfway. Touch can't stick. Took off him by Sariki. It's now of Andre Brooks. The committed men forward. The cross goes in. It's a deep cross. Harmer wins it. And heads it into the side netting. Should have tried to direct it back across goal, but he may have just tried to sneak it into that near post. It was a dangerous delivery in by Andre Brooks. Too easy to get the cross in. And I'm hoping he's not tried to score there, Harmer. I think he has. He's got to put it back across. Poor decision making. And it may have cost his team a chance to nick a point here. Kicked straight out of play by Daniel Peretz. Poor distribution thrown for Sheffield United. Big kick forward. Up towards McGuinness, who wins the first header. Bamford chests it down. Mark McGuinness. 5 seconds to go. Gustavo Harmer on the edge of the area, trying to flick it in towards Peck. Armstrong covering to defend for his team. He clears it forward. Shea Charles now on the halfway line. Into the space for Yander, who's been running all game. He won't get that. Goes through for Cooper. We're now waiting for the referee's whistle. Harmer caught. Yellow card for Kasper Yander, former Dortmund midfielder. Spent 4 years at Schalke as well. And it looks like this might be the last chance. Tonda Eckert is wanting that full-time whistle. Kick forward by Cooper. Into the box towards me. Header won by Harwood Bellis. Still alive. Header by McGuinness. Lacks any real pace. And the full-time whistle is blown. For the first time in 43 days, Southampton collects 3 points. Their 32-year-old head coach, who has had criticism over the past month due to the poor results, has changed his ways, has gone back to 4 at the back, and he's been rewarded with the victory. It was a goal from Leo Cienza in the 7th minute, from the left wing, cutting in onto his right foot on the edge of the area. He had a shot toward the far post. It took a deflection off Arblaster and went into the near post, wrong footing Michael Cooper, and it gave Southampton a lead. And for the rest of that first half, it was all Southampton. And Sheffield United looks like they lacked any sort of energy. and belief that they could get back in the game. Southampton had a few more half chances but couldn't add to their lead. And after the second half, Sheffield United started to build more into the game, started to create more chances. O'Hare looking lively, but there was no real clear-cut chances that were available to Sheffield United, none that were created, and it's left them leaving St Mary's without 3 points, without even a point to show for any second half effort. That's now 7 wins in a row for Southampton against Sheffield United. It's a fixture they love, and it's another game where they have beaten the Blades. Southampton now find themselves 7 points off the playoff positions, and could there be a late playoff push for the Saints if they can get their form back on track? Thanks to everyone who did enjoy. Make sure you like and subscribe before you go. But here at St Mary's, it is Southampton who take all 3 points. Chris Wilder has got some decision making to do during the rest of this transfer window. They need more quality because what they've got at the minute clearly isn't good enough, and they've been well beaten tonight by the Saints as at full time at St Mary's. It finishes here Southampton 1, Sheffield United 0.